Hi guys, my name is Jamila and welcome back to my channel. As you guys know, a lot has been going on recently in regards to, and I hate to say that, a lot has been going on recently because it's been going on since forever. But in light of recent events, I did feel like it was necessary for me to use my voice, even though it's a smaller voice. I'll be honest, I really was this close to not making a video, not speaking on any of this, because I'm just like not in the best, I haven't been in the best headspace with all of this going on for multiple reasons, and I may get into that a little more in the video. But today I want to talk about being black just in real life, being black on BookTube, and pretty much the shitstorm that's been happening on social media and on BookTube with people really showing their asses. In one way, I'm appreciative that now I know how many of you guys are clowns. So first, I kind of want to start off with my background. I'm 23 years old. My family hails from Mississippi. Both of my parents are from Mississippi. Most of our ancestors of, I want to say, the past 8 generations or more are from Mississippi. So we are not, you know, not that there's anything wrong with that, but we are not like, you know, immigrated from a different country or anything like that, because I know that's a large assumption that happens when people see the hijab. We are Americans going pretty far back. All of this is irrelevant. Anyways, being from Mississippi, I have had a lot of negative racial encounters, a lot of negative racial experiences, and my parents grew up dealing with way worse, living in the deep South. And everyone knows that here in America, the whole country is racist, but the South is, for the most part, the worst. And Mississippi is like, it's all the way down there. My entire family's black. Most of my family is dark skinned. I'm kind of I'm not really the majority. As you can see, I'm very light skinned, and I'll get into that experience a little later in the video. But I am very light skinned, but most of my family, if not all of my family, is darker than me. And both of my siblings are much darker than me. I feel like a lot of you guys do not even begin to understand the fear of being black in America and the fear of having family that is black in America, because the constant fear, the constant anxiety that being black in America creates is nearly debilitating. And it is debilitating for some people. Because of certain experiences, I have a hard time leaving my house sometimes because I'm so afraid. I cannot even begin to explain my anxiety when it comes to police, because of the experiences that I have watched my father go through. I have seen my brother go through. My brother is 19. He's very young. And these are not just, oh, we got pulled over and I was a little nervous or whatever. No, this is, you know, taking my father out of the car, like roughing him up, putting handcuffs on him, like, and it gets worse. I'm sorry, my thoughts are like all over the place. Here's the thing. We're exhausted, we're tired, we're angry, we're emotional, and y'all are not helping. Like, I do appreciate the people who actually put in the work, who actually want to be better, who actually want to make a change. But one thing I've come to realize on BookTube is that, unfortunately, this community is very fake in its allyship. It's very fake in its promotion of diversity. And this is something that I noticed before I even got on this platform as a booktuber. This is something that I've been peeping for a long time, and that is, everyone is always talking about diversity, like always going on and on about it, And the truth is that that's all it is. Just talk. Y'all talk and talk and talk and talk. And then there's no accountability. There's no way that you're implementing these things in your actual life for any of it to matter. You're not out here really supporting Black booktubers or Black authors. I have witnessed booktubers actually say, like, and this irks the living crap out of me. I read this book by a Black author and I'm gonna give it 5 stars even though I could not relate to it at all. Like that, like literally I can't relate. Baby, as a Black woman, I am very aware that I have light skin privilege. I'm very light, and being light means there are certain things that I will not experience that my darker skinned fellow Black people will experience. There are some ways that I benefit from a system that oppresses my brothers and sisters. So I'm highly aware of colorism and how me being light skinned does make a difference in how I'm treated. It is something that I noticed from a very young age, like a very young age, with the way that people would treat me versus my siblings. It has always been something that I was aware of from childhood, but I didn't have a name for until I was older. And I just remember it pissing me off so much that just because I looked different, people treated me better than they would my siblings, or they thought I looked better, or what have you, whatever their jaded opinion was. I just remember being so young and being so pissed off, and I hated people fawning over me or treating me better or this and that because I was lighter. And so I've been aware of these things from a younger age, and to have to even think about how people would treat us as children, would act towards, you know, my siblings who are darker than me as children, is heartbreaking. Because if people do this to Black children, I, as a light-skinned Black person, can acknowledge my privilege. I don't understand why a lot of you white people cannot. Y'all really out here wilding. A lot of y'all have showed y'all asses. I've seen white girls crying and saying that Black women, Black girls, Black booktubers are bullying them by asking or requesting that they show some compassion and post just links to positions, links to GoFundMe's, just asking them to post something to raise awareness, to use their larger platform for good. And they have the nerve to sit here and say that they are being bullied. And you say that you care about your Black friends, because if you were friends, that person wouldn't even have to have come and asked you to do that. Because if you cared about that person's life, you would have done it on your own. That's just the truth. It doesn't take you don't need time to formulate your thoughts to post a link. You're feeling a little bit of pressure to do something, but you feel like you shouldn't have to because it doesn't match your aesthetic, or you shouldn't have to be bullied into participating in politics. Our lives are not political. Our lives are not political. What is political about supporting the idea that Black lives matter? What is political about that? What is so difficult about that? What's the argument about that? Like, y'all really... the nerve for you to decide that you don't want to use your larger platform, to use your larger voice to speak up on this, shows who you are as a person. And I can't even tell y'all how many people I've unfollowed, unsubscribed to recently just clowns, literal clowns. What, you have white people out here saying they don't want to post about Black Lives Mattering because they have anxiety. Baby, you have anxiety? You have anxiety? My little brother has been pulled over by police 6 times, maybe 7 in the past 5 months. All of those times, none of them were for anything he did. Every time they pulled him over, it was because they said he fit the description. What the fuck is the description? 7 times, 5 months. Do you know how anxiety inducing that is as a Black person? And you're anxious because you're having to deal with hearing about these things. You're anxious because you don't know how to post about these things. You're anxious. What the fuck? Like, your anxiety, honestly, I don't give a shit about it, because let me tell you something. Black people have to deal with anxiety in every aspect of their lives in this country. Going anywhere, doing anything, being in our homes, not going anywhere. Being in our homes, worrying about our fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, children, constantly. Ourselves, constantly. Out of fear of being mistreated. Black women can't even go to the hospital to give birth without having a fear of being mistreated, of their pain not being taken seriously. So when you say you have anxiety and that's why you haven't posted anything in regards to simply just spreading awareness about Black Lives Mattering, spreading awareness, just links, like literally it's just links. People are asking or requesting that you post so that other people, so the reach goes further. You have anxiety about that? I'm sorry, but fuck your anxiety. I'm sorry, because there's people out here who have anxiety about getting in their car at all, going out in public at all, out of fear of looking suspicious for something that they can't even change. We can't change our skin color. We can't change that we are Black people. And we can't change, apparently, that no matter what we do, we're going to be seen automatically as more threatening. All these assumptions are going to be made about us based on being who we are. We can't change any of that. You can post a freaking link. That's the least you could do. The very least you could do. You're anxious, really. That's like spitting in our faces, honestly. Like, are you serious? Are you freaking serious? Like, one thing that I find so unsettling about all of this is that a lot of you guys are using this as a trend. Today you're gonna say Black Lives Matter, and tomorrow you're not gonna give a fuck. And that's just the truth. Do you care about our lives any other time? Yeah, it's great that there are so many people who are banding together to fight for us. But some of y'all are fake as hell. And you need to check yourselves, and you need to learn better, and you need to see how you can be an ally all year round. Because nothing is going to change. You have to change from the root. You have to educate yourself from the beginning. You have to take the stance of, when I hear other white people or other non-Black people talking shit or spreading harmful stereotypes or whatever it may be, being racist, whatever, that I'm going to take responsibility as a fellow white person and who is an ally to Black people, and I'm going to check my racist ass family members, my racist ass friends. I'm going to do something, because silence is complicity. You are just as bad as them if you do not speak up. If you are silent, when all this is going on and you decide that the aesthetic of my platform is more important than Black lives, and you just nothing, you say nothing, you're part of the problem. Congratulations. One thing that I'm really sick of is that constantly on BookTube, everyone claims, you know, I read diversely, this and that. But then the main Black books we have going around, and yes, these books do deserve, you know, the accolades and all of that too, but the main books that constantly are spread around are books about Black pain. Personally, I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. You guys read within a box when it comes to Black authors and Black people, and y'all stay inside that box. You don't venture out of that box, and a lot of you don't care to, but you claim, I want to read more diversely. When are you gonna start? Like, when? Any day now, because you've been talking about it for how long? We're tired of the same 5 books being thrown around. I know I am, and I've only just started back getting into reading, and there's so much talent out there, so many amazing books that aren't promoting Black trauma, and y'all just ignore them. And then you choose to pick up the ones that are about Black trauma and then say you can't relate. And stop freaking asking Black people to educate you and recommend you Black books. We are tired. I already said this. We're tired, we're exhausted, we're emotional, we're dealing with a lot right now, and y'all have the nerve to get in our inboxes asking for recommendations for Black books. Like, y'all literally have lost your minds. We're over here dealing with real shit, and you're inboxing Black booktubers to recommend you Black books. Do your research. Nobody has time for that. We're dealing with real things. We're dealing with our lives here, fighting for our lives. And you have the nerve, when you have google.com, to come into a Black person's inbox and ask them to recommend you Black books and to educate you on what's going on. Do you realize the privilege in that? The nerve, the audacity, the disrespect. We have to deal with all this shit, and you can't even go to Google and educate yourself. You want somebody to do it for you. Screw that. I'm sorry. Like, who? Are you serious? Like, are you dead ass right now? Like, the least you could do is educate yourself. The least you could do is put in the work in that way. I really hate that you guys are literally thriving on our pain right now and not seeing our worth as Black people. So many of you are thriving on our pain, and the truth is, you really sincerely don't care. All of a sudden, it's everyone wants to support Black people. Everyone wants to make a show of supporting Black people, and I want to be happy about that. Oh, you know, people are recognizing our worth and subscribing and doing all these things to support, but at the same time, it's kind of painful because it takes us being murdered and dying in brutal ways for people to decide that we matter, if even that's what you've decided. Because literally, I feel like a lot of you are treating this as the trendy thing to do right now, and I just want to see how many of you are gonna show up when it's not the trendy thing to do anymore. I just really want to know, like, sincerely, because at the end of the day, how many of us Black booktubers have just gained a shit ton of subscribers in the past couple of days? And how many of us have actually noticed any of our watch time going up, any of our engagement going up. The insincerity of subscribing to us out of white guilt and then not watching us and then not supporting us and really not giving a shit, but you feel better because you press subscribe on a Black Booktubers booktube channel. That makes you feel good inside. But how many of you are actually going to show up to support us, to support our videos? How many of you are going to unsubscribe after it's not the trendy thing to be subscribed to Black Booktubers anymore? I'm not excited. I'm sorry. I do not look at these numbers and feel like it's a good thing. Honestly, I don't, because I don't trust it, because y'all are out here trying to appease your egos. How many of y'all are actually for us on the real tip? Like, how many of y'all are really for us? Be honest with yourself. Why did you subscribe? I actually have wanted to start a booktube channel for over, I want to say over 8 years. I have wanted to, but I just never, for a long time, never felt like there was space for me or room for my voice, because at the time that I became interested in booktube, the lack of support I saw for Black booktubers, you know, Muslim booktubers, like, it was just staggering. At the time, 8 years ago or so, like, there was no support, like, and it was a long time before, from what I could see, any Black booktuber became bigger or reached a significant amount of subscribers. Yet I've seen non-Black booktubers reach the milestone that it took Black booktubers to get to for years and years. And their content, I hate to hear that crap about, well, maybe your content just isn't that good. No, their content was freaking amazing. But it took them years and years to grow to the level that it took some of y'all non-Black people to grow to in a year or two. So you can miss me with that. At the time, I never felt welcome or like I had a space for my voice to be heard. At the time, there were not very many recommendations for Black authors or the type of books that I was looking for. I just did not feel like people were wanting to see someone like me on camera. And I the only thing that really encouraged me to make my channel as of recent were fellow Black booktubers who regardless push through it because they love it. And I just wanted to take a moment to appreciate all the amazing, incredible Black booktubers who do not get the recognition they deserve. And I just want to wish good on you, and that one day you do get the recognition you deserve. And that's not to say we need validation from anyone else to say we're worthy, but y'all deserve so much more. And I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all for giving me the bravery to not only speak right now, but to even be on this platform. So thank you. I love my booktube friends who are sincere, amazing people. This has been one of the nicest communities that I've been welcomed into, but it's also a lot of things wrong here, and you have to be willing to fix it. And it can't just be a week or two out of the year where you feel the need to fix it. Black booktubers work hard. Black booktubers are talented. Black booktubers deserve the viewership, the engagement, and the accolades. Black booktubers deserve sponsorships. Black booktubers deserve to be paid. And a lot of the time, we don't get any of that. I literally hate seeing my fellow Black booktubers not get anywhere near the engagement that they deserve. Don't just support us for 5 minutes and then feel better and go. Are you here for real or what? Like, and that's in every aspect of this. Are you here for our lives or what? I've been so disappointed by so many people that I have looked up to in this community. And a little part of me knew it was a mistake, looking up to certain people and thinking that they were different. But there's a part of us that wants to trust that some of y'all are better than y'all are. And all it ends up doing is honestly hurting our feelings, because we're like, damn, y'all really don't give a shit about us. And that hurts. Stop crying about being asked to do something. Stop crying about, I don't want to ruin my Bookstagram aesthetic. Stop crying because people are asking you to use your platform for good. Stop crying because your tears are bullshit. There's people actually out here crying because they fear for their family's lives. They fear for their own lives. There's people out here being targeted. There's people out here who racism affects their everyday life. And some of y'all bitches out here like crying because somebody asked you to do something. Somebody asked you to use your voice and you're uncomfortable. Boo hoo. I can't even explain how pissed I am. And I really was trying not to curse during this video, but I am pissed. Like, I'm beyond pissed off at this point. I have watched BookTube for years and I've seen the bull crap. Y'all have no respect most of the time for Black creators. Y'all might give a shit for like 2 weeks out of Black History Month, and that's a might, because I've seen a lot of y'all completely ignore Black History Month. Y'all don't care about us any month of the year. It's not enough. Do better, be better. What you're doing is not enough. Always try to strive to improve. And for those of you who are doing something and no one had to ask you, you're not boasting about it, you're getting shit done, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. Everybody else, get it together. Literally get it together. I'm done.